Lysergic acid diethylamide, also known as LSD, animal, tabs, beast, acid, sid, window panes, and white lightning, is a semi-synthetic psychedelic drug or hallucinogen. It was first manufactured in 1938, synthesizing lysergic acid, which occurs naturally in ergot, a type of fungus that grows on rye, wheat, and other grains. It is manufactured in a white crystalline powder, but can be diluted into an odorless, colorless, slightly bitter-tasting liquid. It is sold on the streets in tablet and capsule form and is occasionally sold as a liquid. It is most often seen soaked in blotter paper, divided into design-covered squares, with each square representing a single dose. LSD is most often administered orally, but can also be inhaled, injected, and transdermally applied, as the liquid form absorbs into the skin. Classified as a Schedule I drug, LSD has no medicinal use and instead is used recreationally for its ability to alter mood and perception. LSD works by disrupting the neurotransmitter serotonin and most greatly affects the cerebral cortex and locus coeruleus. Strength may vary from 20 to 80 milligrams per dose in average users to 100 to 200 milligrams per dose in more experienced users looking for a greater high. Effects can be unpredictable and can be dependent on mood, personality, expectations, dosage, and surroundings. Typical psychological effects include hallucinations, increased color perception, delusions, altered mental state, and impaired depth, time, space perceptions, and mood swings. Physiological effects include tachycardia, hypertension, sweating, dilated pupils, tremors, loss of appetite, dry mouth, sleepiness, and trouble speaking. Sensation and feeling change much more dramatically than physical effects, and sensations may cross over, making the user feel they are seeing sounds or hearing colors. Hallucinations and delusions typically occur at higher dosages, while altered states of perception and feelings occur at both low and high dosages. The experience of taking LSD is referred to as a trip, while negative experiences are called bad trip. On these bad trips, users feel severe terrifying thoughts and feelings, fear of losing control, fear of insanity and death, and despair. Effects begin after 30 to 90 minutes of oral administration, peaking at the 2 to 4 hour mark, and things begin to diminish at the 6 to 8 hour mark, but some trips may last up to 12 hours. LSD is not considered an addictive drug, as it does not produce the same compulsive drug-seeking behaviors as cocaine and heroin do, and most users voluntarily decrease or stop use over time. The likeliness of tolerance is not concretely known, as most users do not take it continuously. However, repeated users tend to increase dosages in order to seek a greater high. No symptoms of withdrawal from LSD have been observed, but some severe effects may be prolonged, such as mania, long-lasting psychosis, and flashbacks. These flashbacks can occur days, weeks, or even a year after administering the LSD. Overdose is possible but highly unlikely, as the lethal dose is 14,000 milligrams per dose. Most common dangers arise from what is called behavioral toxicity, which is uncharacteristic or abnormal behavior, such as suicidal tendencies or the feeling of being superhuman. LSD was internationally in an experimental capacity in the 1950s and 60s by governments to explore the possibilities of mind control, interrogation, and social engineering. It was most heavily used illicitly by the public in the 1960s and 1970s. The lowest recorded use in youth and young adults was in the 1980s, but in the 1990s to the early 2000s, users in that age group began to increase. But recently, a decline in the numbers has been shown. Currently, LSD is a Schedule I drug in the United States and Germany, is a Schedule III drug in Canada, considered a Class A drug in the United Kingdom, ranked as a hard drug in the Netherlands, and is decriminalized in Portugal.